I saw Larry Nassar when I was actually pregnant and carrying Emma Ann. So as a single mom, she would attend my appointments with me.
Larry groomed me my entire life. When I'd go into his office, he would walk in through the door and be like, oh, like, how have you guys been? Give my mom and I a hug.
When he'd go on different trips, he'd bring her back little stuffed animals, little Olympic pins. And when Emma Ann began dancing at 3 years old, he was always asking, oh, you know, did you get pictures?
He would hang up my dance pictures along with all of the other Olympians and gymnasts. So made me feel special, obviously.
Emma Ann began seeing Larry when she was about 8 years old here at this office.
I started seeing him for my back pain. My mom was in the room with me when Larry started seeing me.
During her exams, when I was in the room, she was fully clothed. He would turn his body and engage you in a conversation and be talking with her also.
He would talk the entire time to not let me focus on what he was doing to me.
He'd kind of position his body so you really couldn't see anything.
I'd have that weird gut feeling, but I always would push aside that feeling and be like, he wouldn't do that to me. It's Larry. He would never hurt me.
When I heard what happened, there's a tremendous amount of guilt.
Well, Emma Ann's story is featured in a new book called The Girls, an all-American town, a predatory doctor, and the untold story of the gymnast who brought him down. Now, I want to shamelessly plug this book because this is a courageous, courageous book, and it's a courageous story by a courageous young woman. So thank you both for being here. So tell me, you're the youngest victim that has come forward, and this is very hard to talk about, I'm sure. Tell me what the process was in deciding to find your voice on this.
Honestly, at first, I was hesitant to share my story just because of how close I was with Larry, and I didn't want to accept the fact that he would ever want to hurt me. But once court started and I started to listen to all of the girls giving their testimonies, it empowered me and gave me courage, and I realized that I have a voice and this, I'm more than what he did to me.
Well, now, you had a very trust-based relationship with him, right?
Yes.
I began seeing Larry years ago,
Right.
and when I was pregnant with Emma Ann. So there's never been a time where Emma Ann did not know Larry.
Right.
And she grew up with him. He was just really, really good at developing this really close-knit relationship that you felt like he was family, but he was also a master of keeping a conversation. There was never a moment where Larry didn't stop talking, and he engaged you, which I believe now, looking back, was to distract.
Yeah, and he would keep you blocked,
Yes.
but he would violate you with you in the room. And this was all while this conversation was going on, right?
Yes.
And he would touch you inappropriately, and he didn't wear gloves, right?
No.
Okay, and there was no way for you to have any awareness. First, you go in with an expectation of trust because you'd known him for years, and he would position himself where you couldn't see. And what would you say to yourself about what was going on?
I felt uncomfortable at times, but if I ever did feel uncomfortable, I would shame myself for even having those thoughts, because why would an Olympic doctor, first of all, ever do that? Someone that's trusted and someone that has so much power and authority.
Yeah.
And second of all, why would someone that's known a little girl all of their life and seen them grow up since they were a baby till then and want to hurt them and rip away their innocence?
Right.
So I would just always be like, he wouldn't do that to me.
So you had no sense that this was out of the ordinary because you had not seen 5 other doctors to know if there were other procedures, other methodologies or whatever that he was not following.
Yeah,
Okay.
they didn't have anything to compare it to.